A black cloud descends on Bafana Bafana, Black Friday, but more importantly, it's Football Friday with us and Betway, where you get way more. Remember, when you join as a new user on the Betway app, use our affiliate code ONSIDE, ZA. It helps us out a great deal. Joining me on the podcast today, Mr. Len Moleko.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Seppi Worldwide, welcome, darling.
Dali, hi.
And everyone's favorite super sub, welcome to the show, guys. On Onside today, brought to you by Betway. We're looking forward to another big Betway event, the Betway Summer Cup. Betway Summer Cup coming to you live from Turfentine Racecourse tomorrow, all day long. Great betting deals. Simply log on to the Betway app, find the advertising tab for Betway Summer Cup, and see how you can win massive bonus winnings with the horse racing tomorrow. We'll all be there, so if you do come round, let us know. Pop us a message on the Podcast and Chill Network socials or our individual socials, and we'll love to meet up with you, take some photos, stuff like that.
I have nothing to wear.
You know,
Your
Seppi,
problems are massive, eh?
Ballers are already so upset with you for not being at Disofing.
Ooh, y'all.
Maybe
I have
one
nothing to
baller
wear,
will-
but it's
will-
okay. Like, we'll make a plan.
Maybe one baller will give you a dress or something.
Ballers, please, hey, sponsor, please. I need a dress. But anyway, it's going to be fun. Are you guys betting on any horses? Have you ever bet on a horse? Super?
I have not personally, but tomorrow it's gonna be my first time.
Right.
I'm gonna introduce myself there.
Yeah, I've been to Turfentine Racecourse, and I spent an entire day. Don't even ask who I was with, but it was such a nice experience, and I actually won some money. So it's going to be quite interesting what happens.
Now that you mentioned, we shouldn't ask who you were with. We want to know who you were with.
So I've also never bet on horses, I find it so fascinating, to be honest. So I've never done it. I'd like to, and I've now placed some bets on horses, but I'll be honest, I have no idea what's going on with them. So I placed bets earlier this week on horses, and I honestly have no idea what's going on with them. I know I placed bets. That's it.
Good. Okay, that's a start.
Okay, so shall we kick it off?
Yep.
Shall we move over to the football? I'm dealing with some technical issues here with the thing that irritated me the most this week, and it's the only thing that can irritate me more than the technical difficulties that I'm going through now is Len Moleko. There is a proposed new offside rule coming to football for 2024. There we go.
Yes, you can take us through it and tell us why you were upset about it.
I think, first of all, I can only imagine that the idea as to why you would want to bring a rule change like this into place is the making it easier for officiating, is having clear daylight between an attacker and a defender. It's so difficult to see the difference between a current onside rule and the current offside rule. And I think that this regulation, if we look at the big screen here, Tabang, if you give us the wide camera, we can see it, is the offside player would have to be completely beyond the last defensive player. So you'd have to be in the complete beyond point of the last defensive player, rather. And if you see there, the image at the top is onside, which would currently in today's rule be offside, where any part of the attacking player's body that is past, that is able to play the ball, that is past any part, the last part of any defensive player, would be an offside decision. So in this proposed law that they're looking to implement in 2024, I blame Arsene Wenger for this anyway in the first place, is it's his rules. He also wants to remove throw-ins.
Which is fair, but we'll get to that. We'll just
get to
finish
that.
off with this.
So I think this is a very important rule change. I'm really unhappy with it. It gives such an unfair advantage to attacking players. Defensive players already traditionally slower, already at a disadvantage against attacking players. Now you are bringing a much bigger advantage to attacking players into the game for what? The ease of officiating.
So how would you then mitigate the whole aspect of the advantage that you speak of? Because yes, I understand an attacking player is already in motion, whereas a defending player firstly is facing backwards and for them having to turn and chase is already a disadvantage, and like those 2-3 split seconds that they would need to gain advantage of somebody who's already in motion.
Yeah, and I mean, if you just look at the image, say that you're both in full stride. You're both in full stride. Look at the difference between those two. Imagine the player at the bottom's foot is ever so slightly further back and he's onside. There's no way the defensive player can catch him. It's too much of a head start.
Yeah.
Whereas the current top image, that being offside, I believe it's completely fair. I'm happy with the current onside-offside regulation.
What was wrong with the initial offside rule for them to then introduce this one?
I can only imagine is to make officiating easier, or if there's some sort of technology that they're looking to implement that would require the rule change for the technology to be able to make it fair and legal all the time and fast, like goal line technology, which we're all big fans of goal line technology. It works well. But I don't believe that you should be changing the entire rule to suit the technology.
Look, I mean, we can argue a lot about this, and I see Gwen on the comment is saying the rule is going to lead to high-scoring games. In World Cups, for instance, when was the offside rule implemented again? I think it was in the 70s or late 60s, if I'm not mistaken. Before then, there were no offsides.
Yeah.
Right? And that means all the ones that Pele played where there were no offsides, we minus his goals.
So Pele was scoring offside goals back then.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying all the goals that he scored when there was no offside rule, we take those rules. I mean, we take those goals away. But having said that, it's football is evolving, and with its I almost said involvement. I want to say with its
evolution.
With its evolution, there we go. I suppose officiating has to catch up. The technology is there, but it's not really outstanding.
Yet.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So why is it not a case of then improving the technology as opposed to amending the rules so that they actually they catch up? The technology.
I think that the technology should be developed around the current rule system because there's too much of a disadvantage for defensive players. I see here in the comments, Super Sub is saying hands off Pele. Big fan of Pele, obviously. But I think the big comment that stood out for me that made me laugh is we're going to need VAR for this new rule change because Kaizer Chiefs will benefit the most.
Beneficiary FC.
Leave Chiefs alone. But also and as I checked that you were going to say something now, Super Sub. Sorry about that. Like with VAR, for instance, this is what I was thinking about the other day. Why is it that, because most of the time the worry is the camera angle, especially where offsides are involved. Why can't they have an aerial, it's almost like a drone type
like an aerial
camera that they use that is centered, that is able to...
Well, it would have to follow the play because the idea is the direct perpendicular image rather than the idea of centered across the whole pitch.
But
right?
the current cameras that broadcasters use are already
centered. That's part of the issue,
They are already
right?
following the play. So if or you almost have like you place them.
You can place them strategically. It doesn't necessarily have to be one.
Listen, I think with the way that AI technology and the way that tracking technology works, you could have a single camera on a wire across the top of a stadium. And that could literally follow players. It could just follow the last defender all the time.
They already have the spider camera anyway. Remember the one that they
remember at 2010 World Cup?
The spider cam.
We're asking ourselves, what is this thing in the middle of the...
So why don't they use that? And I understand it's expensive technology. I mean, you're going to install that at Goodison Park, you're going to do it at the Emirates, at Etihad. I get that. And that is probably part and parcel of why we don't have VAR in South Africa, because it's expensive technology.
I agree. And then when you think about how, in Africa, in our continent, we're still struggling to have a standard FIFA stadium. So by the time they are able to catch up, it's going to be way too late.
Super Sub?
My thing is... with evolution of football, right? VR was introduced, I think, a few years back. Are we allowing ourselves enough time to get used to the new changes? Or we're thinking now that VR is failing, now we need to adapt, instead of learning the process more and then have a better outcome. Because I feel like we're not allowing ourselves to get used to the new changes in football.
I think that there needs to be improvement, but it needs to exist. It needs to stay in place, especially in the leagues that can afford VAR. And then when it's perfected, hopefully the other leagues in the world will get it in a better state than what it's currently in. But it's the quality of officiating that we're unhappy with currently on VAR, and not necessarily the technical, because it's just videos.
Yeah, because my problem with so many changes is that now we're going to change the offside rule. And we're still going to have problem with officiating, because officiating boils down to human error.
Back to the comments.
Yes.
Jiggy RSA says soon they're going to replace the linesmen and refs because of technology they're introducing. It's certainly looking like it.
Look, you can actually have like almost like, in athletics, right? Yeah. The camera that sprints with the athletes.
Yeah.
You can almost have like linesmen who are like, beam type thing, but also there's other decisions technology won't necessarily solve the linesman issue, because there's other, and that's why they are, well, not linesmen, they call them like third official, second and third official type vibes. They also assist in seeing things that the referee might not necessarily see. So if you had to get like technology to come and try and improve that, like, no, it won't work.
Len, you missed an opportunity before we move on from this whole offside thing, which irritated me so much, is that you said for athletics instead of horse racing, where the camera runs alongside with the horse racing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, actually.
You missed an opportunity, Len, and I can see the disappointment on your face. Let's move on. Congratulations, Mamelodi Sundowns, ladies.
Well done, well
Like,
done.
I feel like every week we congratulate Mamelodi Sundowns, guys.
We might as well call this show the Mamelodi Sundowns.
Might as well.
The only time
Podcast.
Mamelodi Sundowns didn't do well was Tuesday night in Rwanda.
Oh, yes.
They were excellent in the first half against Benin on Saturday.
Yeah.
Fantastic. They looked like world beaters. I mean, we'll get back to the CAF Champions League final, obviously, but they looked like world beaters, Bafana. They looked excellent. Those Mamelodi Sundowns players, and then, of course, some of the international stars that filled the rest of the team, but it was largely Sundowns players that did most of the moving on Saturday, and then let the team down on Tuesday night.
Did they let us down?
Did
Or did
really?
the pitch and the circumstances also let all of us down?
Nah, it was them. They let us down.
They're coming for you.
No, they did.
I don't think they let us down. I think that
Zil.
Yeah,
look.
but I mean, for the first time, I can say Guti Bafana did not. I mean, they were really at a back foot. I think the stadium on its own and the quality or lack thereof of the stadium did contribute.
The rain did
massively.
not make it
The
any
rain
better.
did not help either. And also, Ubris also mentioned something that they had to travel 3 hours to get to the stadium.
From their accommodation.
From the airport.
From the airport.
You know, so that on its own is ridiculous, and it should not be happening. Not at this, at this point when it comes to, especially if you're playing a World Cup qualifier, that should not be something.
To be fair to Coach Bruce,
give him run. He wants to run.
I know where he's going.
Allow
To be
him.
fair to Coach Bruce,
Allow him to run.
he said it's no excuse. He
Yes,
said
he
it's
did.
unacceptable, but it's no excuse for the
Yes,
result.
Yeah, but certain things should not be happening.
So it's like, would you complain being stuck in traffic on Allendale in Midrand in the morning or in the afternoon?
But you do complain when you're stuck in traffic.
But it's just nature, right?
Yeah.
We're almost like designed to complain about load shedding. I mean, stage 6 was announced earlier today. I complained, but I was still dealing with stage 2 and 4. It's just how it is. We know how the continent is. So it also goes to planning. We complain about load shedding, but you still go charge your phone, your power bank, you buy a generator, what. Bruce knew he was going to Rwanda.
Yeah.
Bruce knew what time he was playing. If this was a cricket game or a rugby game, for instance, and I'm not saying they didn't do that, but you go and check, okay, conditions in. The team has a team manager whose job it is to actually go and almost do a recce of the hotel they're going to stay in, the stadium they're going to play in, the training facilities that they have.
Because usually, sorry to interject you, Len. Because usually the team manager will travel before the club even go there.
Exactly. So, are you telling me that Hugo Bruce did not look at AccuWeather and so it was like, okay, cool. In this stadium, in this town, in this city, on this day, chances of rain are 60%.
Well, Coach Bruce pointed out that he knew Rwanda would be playing the kick and chase tactic, as he worded it, where they would kick it upfield, chase, and then his team didn't heed his warning. And then when he made adjustments after the 2-0 deficit they were facing after the first few minutes, the adjustments he made improved the side, but it was too late.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super sub?
Yeah, look, I mean, it was a little bit too late. However, you should have anticipated that. Look, I mean, for a quality that Bafana Bafana is and the manner in which they've been playing, a draw would have been a result that I would accept, not a 2-0, honestly speaking.
Why they were playing at Huye, right? And when I looked, Rwanda has 7 international stadiums, and Huye happens to be one of them. I want to also find out why is it that Huye was the stadium that was chosen. I mean, there are better stadiums in Rwanda. In fact, Kigali Pele Stadium that was inaugurated last year is a much better stadium. So why did they not use that?
If you want to fight a pig, you take it to the mud.
So they were managing the match way before.
And also the
Do you
question,
understand?
And the question now is, shouldn't KEF get involved in matters like this?
They probably should.
They should, because they have closed down a couple of stadiums in Zimbabwe. I think Zimbabwe does not have a home stadium as we speak, and I think there's another stadium in Ghana that was closed down.
Well, Lesotho's playing their games at Moses Mabhida.
There's actually about nine African countries that don't have sufficient
stadium facilities,
including Namibia as well. Their international stadium also. Lesotho, we know.
Played at Moses Mabhida.
I think Swaziland is one of them as well.
So here's my trail of thought where it was going with regards to where SAFA has to get. Where KEF has got to get involved. By virtue of us having played in Huye, it means the stadium passed all the boxes from KEF. That is why the Lesotho stadiums, the Namibia stadiums, some of the Ghana stadiums and the likes are not suitable to be played on because they did not tick the box.
Or maybe it fell through the cracks.
I doubt.
I agree with you, Len. In a how can I put it? In a fair play, FIFA fair play is something that, as KEF, they don't have to really get involved, but the FAs of the country needs to have that, and it's something that has been lacking in African football. FIFA fair play, and FIFA fair play is not only in the field; it's how you administrate your football. It's also how you conduct yourself towards your opponents from the moment they land, how you treat them. It's part of FIFA play. And that's something that I feel is not being enforced enough in Africa. And
I agree.
As a result, our football is lagging behind.
Back to the comments, guys, you can give Bafana all the pamper treatment you want. These people don't want to win games, says Kleho.
So and sometimes it's easy to feel like that, but let's give them like fair game. I mean, the guys were unbeaten in 12, unlucky number 13. But also to go on what you said, ne super sub.
Yeah.
AFCON qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers, KEF Champions League games, right? Those are sanctioned by who?
What?
KEF.
By KEF.
By KEF, right?
Yes.
So why is it then the onus on the FA of whichever country is taking part, or the onus on the club which is ever hosting that game to actually be on some you choose the stadium that you're going to play on?
I think
KEF should oversee the entire process, go through, check out, like they do with World Cups. They go and evaluate stadiums.
And is it not the responsibility of your local federation as well to go and say, like, SAFA should oppose it? SAFA should say, hey, KEF, you've allowed this game to take place here. It's not adequate facilities. We refuse.
And actually, Gift is saying that. Gift Real G says, so we must blame SAFA then.
Okay, how do we blame them if the stadium
it ticked all the boxes according to call the FIFA
statutes or FIFA statutes?
Yes, it ticked the boxes. But what I'm saying is, I think they were intentional with taking the game there. they know that we play a certain type of football that's not going to suit other stadiums. So they took the game where they feel it suits them, but it's not really conducive for football. Artificial pitch. Pep complained about it when he went to Switzerland. I don't know if you remember the Champions League game against Young Boys. They were not playing on a normal pitch.
It was an artificial pitch. That was the one they're complaining about, especially for injuries.
Yes.
Apparently, it's not straight up. It's
artificial.
It's a mix.
It's called
soccer
synthetic
park.
or something.
Yeah, it's synthetic because it's a mixture
Yes.
of both.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah,
Do you know rugby games also get played on such a pitch?
difference.
injuries are high. I mean, that's the
That's
statistical
the thing.
thing.
And what
Injuries
I'm
are
saying
high.
is it boils down to fair play.
That's
And
it.
The moment African football realizes that we are the enemy of our own selves, the better, because we are not going anywhere with this kind of mentality. If you want to see a good football between Rwanda and Bafana Bafana, they should have picked a good stadium where we can see good football being displayed. But with such kind of a pitch, you're not going to see good football being displayed.
Question: if we are blaming, firstly, we must blame Bafana for not adapting to conditions and playing football to suit the conditions and being arrogant and going with like, oh no, we're going to play our normal football. No, doesn't work. As we saw, it didn't work. I mean, Rwanda had not won a game in 2 years, I think, at home. Kind of vibes, and we were the first sacrificial lambs for them, and we lost our
really
lost our first
annoying.
game against them.
It's annoying,
They won their first game against us. But if we did not know that it was going to be raining and such heavy rain type of thing, do you think then the players who were playing on the day just decided, it's fine, we'll take our normal boots? Because you don't play with the same boots in rain as you do in like normal conditions, or the same boots that you would play on synthetic as you would do at a FNB or a Moses Mabhida type of vibes. So for them to actually be able to last that 60 minutes, the 90 minutes, I think the guys knew. They just did not apply themselves, and they failed in their tactical approach, period.
No, I definitely agree with you
I
when
think
it comes
two
to
things
tactical
can
approach.
be can be right at the same time also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would
No,
probably
I agree.
both.
Yeah, in this
That's probably the most true
Yeah.
point of all of this, is that everything accumulated against the result for Bafana is application, tactics,
Everything.
facilities,
Preparation.
everything went wrong, and that's what caused the result.
Yeah.
I want to close off on international African football on one question. Too early to call Bafana's hopes for World Cup qualification?
Yeah, way too early.
Way too early, eh?
Oh,
I pose it to ballers as well. Let us know if you think Bafana will
Look where
qualify.
we are sitting
second
on the log,
behind.
I thought
Rwanda.
Yeah.
Like we're sitting
And
here,
Nigeria
what do
is
you
not
mean?
doing okay.
Yeah, and that's the
That's
fear,
the other
right?
thing, yeah.
They can still win their next. How many games are left? Because
quite a
there's
few.
5-5.
There's still
They still have
four.
about 5 matches or 4.
8 games remaining.
There's a long way to go.
Oh, because it's home and away.
Yeah.
Home and away,
It's a
and
long-
6 teams.
it's a
in
long-
Okay,
the
so what do we do when they come here?
No, we play our
Where do
normal
we take
game.
them?
We fair play.
We
We
fair
take
play.
them to
Moses
Santa.
Mabhida.
We treat them nice.
We treat them nice.
Because we're the cheese girls and cheese boys of Africa.
We have to play at
Okay,
FM.
but
we
where
have to
would you-
play somewhere on a good
if you
pitch
had
for
to-
us anyway.
If you had to return the favor, where would you take them?
Ooh,
Mabatu
because we have
Stadium.
world-class
Len,
stadiums.
Mabatu Stadium.
Not
But
even
there's no
Dobsonville
stadium.
Stadium is below par. That's
Firstly,
the
they
thing.
would have to like.
Also,
start
it
the
would
rumu-
suit them.
It would suit
They're
them.
okay. Yes.
We play.
They can even play barefoot.
Bafana are the ones playing the enterprising football. So
Yeah.
Bafana need the good quality pitch. That's where we take them.
Look,
Facts.
we are the beacon of hope in Africa. And
We are tired of carrying the continent on our
we
shoulders.
should always lead by example.
Because I mean, you go to Egypt, you go to Morocco, Algeria. They don't take you to Epoquini. I hope I said that right.
It's green.
That one.
Yeah.
That one. Yes.
That.
If I said it wrong, Hadi, just type it for me on the
What's
comments.
that?
Like that dusting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mashobo games.
Yeah.
If we want to take them to Mashobo games, we can do that. It's fine. But is it to our benefit or is it to our detriment?
Because we do well on we play carpet football, so we do well in manicured pitch, in a nice environment.
With
So we take
aircon
them
in
there.
our hotels, you know? Guys, I want to ask the ballers because tell me what this answer is. FIFA World Cup appearances, and you guys also, when it comes to Africa, which team has the most appearances on the continent?
In World Cup,
Yeah, well, FIFA World Cup
finals.
appearances, just to appear.
Does it include qualifiers?
Yes, no, just to appear. I get you've qualified. So we have 5 countries that qualify and
Yes.
appear. So tell me which country has the most appearances in Africa?
in the FIFA World Cup
Yes,
proper, in the
yes.
finals
The
of a FIFA World
FIFA,
Cup.
where
It's
we are
between
now.
Nigeria
It's between Egypt and Nigeria.
and Ghana
Cameroon as well.
and Cameroon and Senegal.
Okay, give me a
This is a multiple choice for the ballers.
Nigeria. I'll go with Nigeria.
You say Nigeria.
I'll go with Nigeria.
I'm going with Egypt.
Egypt. And then Muleko?
I'm between Egypt and Cameroon.
Someone says Cameroon,
I'm going to
Nigeria.
take a slight different one. Morocco.
Morocco?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so
Because he went far this time. Might have jumped him ahead in the
Look at
queue.
there.
It's a good answer actually
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking back to the 70s, 80s. The first African country to qualify for a World Cup was a North African country, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it was
Gift
either
Real
Morocco
G says
or
Cameroon. Decalo, Nigeria. Siabonga, Nigeria. Jason, Cameroon. Mpoza, Egypt. Jiggy, Nigeria. Arnold, Cameroon. Jason, Cameroon. Katlejo, Egypt. We can't make up our man. Tunisia says Likle.
okay, so actually, the team that has the most World Cup
Oh.
appearances
Are you
is
not going to give it like 2 minutes
okay,
for other ballers to come in?
Okay.
Or you want to let it simmer?
Lutendo says, I love Cameroon. So where were we standing? I said Nigeria, you said Morocco, you said Egypt.
Egypt or
No,
Cameroon?
you said Egypt or Cameroon. You said
I can have two.
I said Nigeria.
Why does he have two and some of us have one?
Because I'm super sub.
choose your fighter. Choose your fighter.
Whichever
Super
one.
Sub.
But you can sub your other one in, don't worry.
Exactly.
Another Tunisia, Cameroon, and Kunani, Nigeria. Sorry, Kunani.
I'm sticking with Cameroon.
Okay,
Okay, let's hear it.
it's Cameroon.
I know.
Eight
my God.
appearances.
Well done. Yeah.
And then number 2,
Ballers,
Morocco,
no.
Lynn. And
What-
then
what-
number 3 is Nigeria.
Nigeria.
What do I get?
What do you get?
Egypt, Nigeria, or Egypt?
And then Egypt fourth, hey?
No. Okay, so let me give you. Okay.
The list of appearance makers.
Yeah.
I
From
can
it's
almost
very
guarantee
quick.
you, South Africa is not in the top 10.
They
Egypt
are.
were the first African team to qualify
Remember
for a
we played
World
in
Cup.
three,
Says
right?
Yes,
Gift.
it was North African. Yes, it was Cameroon first, then Morocco, Nigeria. Okay, Cameroon with 8 appearances. Morocco, Nigeria, Tunisia with 6 appearances. Ghana, Algeria with 4. Senegal, Egypt, South Africa, and Cote d'Ivoire with 3. And we
one
have,
three.
we
Because
have,
you appear at one World Cup.
yeah, I think we had a France. We had ours.
We had
Yeah.
Korea,
France,
Japan.
South
then-
Korea, Korea,
Yes.
Japan.
Did we not have a Korea?
We had Korea,
98.
Japan,
We had
2001.
Korea,
Korea,
Japan,
Japan,
we had
Japan,
France,
Japan.
we
Issa
had
scored
South
an own
Africa.
goal in the
That
group
was
stages.
98.
That was
98.
Pierre Issa 98.
Yeah.
And then 2002 in Korea, Japan.
Yes.
When a couple of players went out clubbing.
We don't
No,
believe your
Chimukwena
list.
and Brendan
We're
and
finished.
Brendan
Your list is
Augustine.
finished.
And then number
I was. I saw FNB Stadium as well. Come on,
Was it 2002 or 98?
It was 2002 when they went out clubbing, I think.
No, Tim Kwan and Brendan Augustine.
Okay, so this is
I
not.
think it was 2002.
So appearances not in games, in actual
Like
visiting
you made it
that
there.
tournament.
Yes, you made it
That's
there.
also not fair because Nigeria have qualified from group stages. They play another 1 or 2 games afterwards, things like that. So actual like games
After
as in
the opening
appearances
ceremony,
or how
you were
many
there.
tournaments you've been to
Or maybe the
qualified
question-
for.
So
Okay,
there's
the
only 4 teams that have made it to the second round.
That's Senegal,
Senegal,
Nigeria.
Nigeria, Morocco.
Morocco,
Is it not Cameroon also?
Ghana.
Ghana.
Was it Ghana?
Ghana
Okay.
against in South Africa.
2010 years.
Okay. So yeah, and then we have DR, Angola, and Togo 1 each.
Okay.
Danko.
Danko means thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, moving on. Ladies football. Should there be a FIFA Club World Cup for women coming up? Do we have one coming up?
We don't.
There isn't one
it
in
doesn't
inception as
exist.
yet.
It doesn't exist. There should be one.
There should
in
be
all
one,
fairness.
and Sundown should go win it.
Of course.
And not even for the sake of Sundowns going on to win it. It's we get to every year there's a Ballon d'Or, right? And like players from the USA or from France or Malta or Germany, they always winning. There's never a chance for African players to actually go toe to toe with players from other parts of the world, except when it's a World Cup, which comes every 4 years, right? So this leap year opportunity of involving Africa in the rest of world football is not fair.
That's a very good point,
True.
especially after such a good performance from Sundowns ladies. in the CAF
and
Champions.
we
And
can
more than ever, we
Women's
are
Champions
still
League.
wanting to make sure that, women's football is taken to, other territories, like is mentioned. But it can't just be a conversation of it only happens once.
Yeah.
It needs to be a norm that there's
It
always
has
a
to happen,
tournament, a big competition that is happening when it comes to women's football. And that's the only way that, we see our girls also having even more opportunities, because then they are able to shine on the world stage.
There should be an AFL for women, African Women's Football League.
Yeah,
There should
definitely.
be. I mean, the Club World Cup now is expanding to like 24 or 32 teams.
Yeah.
It's almost going to be like a similar.
Pirates is there, I
format.
think, on the next one.
Huh?
Pirates, I think it's going to be on the
FIFA
next.
Club World Cup, or are we talking AFL?
AFL.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
talking Club World Cup.
You
There's
mentioned
levels.
AFL,
There's
and then you
levels.
mentioned FIFA Club.
There's levels.
I'm talking about what you've mentioned earlier.
There's levels.
I'm not gonna go with you on that
Okay,
one.
cool.
Stay
Yeah.
there in your mud.
Okay.
Levels.
Okay, so with the hopes of Sundowns ladies jetting off around the world, Tepi Worldwide, take us around the world. Brought to you by Betway. Get way more.
Get way more. Okay, so sometimes it's so exciting and also quite kind of sad to know that we're not the only nation that is emotional when it comes to football. Like, we really take it to the gut, So Brazil suffered its first ever home World Cup qualifying defeat on Tuesday against Argentina, an arch rival. And in fact, before the match started, there was already a lot of commotion, people beating each other, the police and everything else. Question I want to pose to you guys is that, do you think that something could have been done to remedy this, preventative measures should have been taken? Or was it just a matter of, football is football and c'est la vie?
Lendinho, Tepi Jr., Super Usubi.
Super
What did the
Usubi.
Brazilians do wrong?
Look, I think organization was a big problem there. I think for arch rivals to be that close to each other, without
the
enough
proximity.
personnel to kind of be between the two sides, I think it was a bit of a problem there. I think they could have sort of prevented it. We've seen it in Premier League when it's like big games like Manchester United and Manchester City, how they deploy so many personnel in terms of security, So I think they failed themselves there, in my view.
Very disappointing when police are beating fans because
It
of
seems-
failings
it's-
like this.
It's scenes that we don't want to see in football.
Absolutely.
Again, why did they resort? There's ways of controlling unruly crowd. They could have used shields. They could have used other methods.
Water.
Yeah.
But
they
why did they
What do you
resort
mean
to
do they have-
shambox?
Oh my God.
Just asking.
Scenes like that are not really, really good for football, and
Hey,
should not be happening.
also-
First of all, it's probably not a laughing matter, but Mpoza in the comments, you're funny. First of all, Sundowns ladies are good, but they're not winning a FIFA Club World Cup. Come on, guys, I'm being hopeful. I don't believe they're
that
actually going to
note, I
beat a
wanted to
Manchester
say something,
City,
and I
etc.
know we're digressing.
Yes.
Are you guys happy with the 400,000 winning prize? I feel like it's
Nothing.
not enough.
It's nothing.
Give it time. It's a start.
I mean, that is like 8 million.
It's
Len.
a start, my friend.
Look.
What's about initially there was nothing. It's a start. And once we start to have these conversations, once we see that there was interest in the competition, give it time, my friend. It's gonna take time.
This is like accepting stage 2 load shedding and saying, at least it's stage 2.
There's power.
Why? At least, why?
Tepi,
Why should they?
why this should be AFL given 74 million, a competition that we actually do not need?
But how big is the franchise compared to
We can make it big. AFL
Let's
was
make it
non-existent.
big, guys. Were you guys watching the matches?
Which
Guys, I mean,
It's a women's CAF.
Yes,
We were.
No,
The-
for real.
the-
Be honest.
No,
Were you
the
guys
ones-
watching all the matches
the
and
ones
really,
that
really
were
taking?
broadcast, the one we can access.
We watched.
And again, that cup.
I even watched the Super League, the local Super League.
And again, CAF should do better. What was that thing that they brought back? It looks like a
That thing.
ice basket from Conca.
Yo,
No, I mean they should do better. They should treat these women with respect.
but
I
maybe
get
you
it.
can put some strapped horse. I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps. But it
Seeing
looks.
that we're
No
going to
see
the
the cup, Len?
just clear.
I'm
you
in
see
the
the
comments
cup?
for the gags. These guys are making me feel funny
Sorry,
because the
Tepi, go
Carlos
back
says
to worldwide.
there's
Sorry.
12 official languages. Len chose to speak facts.
What did I say?
De Carlo. But
Gary-
Mpoza says one of the reasons Sundowns is good is exactly that reason. And he said, what a messy game. Yeah, Argentina versus Brazil. Come on.
But also, speaking about like Brazilian football, you can even see with like their local leagues, the rival games, when the Santoses of this world are playing Corinthians, that culture is already there. I mean, back in the days, like
hooliganism.
Yes, it got to a
And
point
the
whereby
police is also militant, guys.
They
so
were
it's not
militant,
helping.
Tepi.
It's
And
not,
Not
helping.
helping. You're right.
And also, can I pose this to you guys? Do you think players could have done something different? Because I feel like players also contributed to the whole commotion by not sticking together to stop it, because they are professional.
No, but they did though. They did. There was a point.
Did you see Martinez going to the cops there?
Yes, no, because there was a cop trying to knock a fan. He was just calling the cop to order, because the minute a cop does that, then in mob mentality, the rest of everybody is gonna try attack the cop, and then it just becomes nyaga nyaga.
Yeah, but they also set a standard on the pitch. I mean, Messi was choking opponents like the Proteas are choking.
I don't think the players made it any easier.
But that's how heated that game is. It's like Sundowns playing Al Ahly or it's like how Chiefs were playing Orlando Pirates. These
how
things
Pirates
happen.
played Kaizer Chiefs, you mean?
Yeah, what?
Yes. Yeah, anyway, continue.
No, how Chiefs played Pirates, because Chiefs went on like they were playing a rugby match. But us call up.
Yeah, no.
Matters of the
Sorry,
past.
Tepi.
Okay,
we
can
went
we
a little bit off there. Sorry.
We digress.
We digress. Sorry.
Okay, so we know that they were wrong, right? Something quite interesting that I also saw. So we're jetting off from Brazil. We're bringing it back here to Africa. This one is going to be a great advantage for us because we still have Mamelodi Sundowns in the CAF Champions League, and we have moved now to group stages. Simba SC, the Tanzanian club, have received a major ban from FIFA on Thursday, which was yesterday. One of the Africa's biggest clubs has provided an official statement in response. Okay, so the story is this. They bought a player from a team. His name is Sako, from a Senegalese team in August of 2021. And there is a 45-day window for them to pay the club, right, for this player, and they were not able to do that. And because of that, they have now been banned from buying any players for a period. I'll tell you now.
There we go again.
So
Africa
they banned
and administration.
Yes, so they have been banned from making any international transfers, and also banned the Reds Mzimbanzi from making any local transfers until it pays the demands made. So they have paid 50% of the money, but there is still obviously a balance. So until they have paid that balance, they can't make any transfers locally and internationally. So you're saying administratively?
No, it's an admin thing. If I'm going to do a transaction with you, I should know, based on the contract that we signed, that within a certain period of time I need to pay you. So if there is it's standard practice.
Easy.
Well, except for
Except for-
government.
It's another
But it's
one.
standard practice.
Similar to Dex issue, eh?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So it's again goes back to admin. Like admin is probably one of the, and going back to the Bafana, admin, just go and look at the damn stadium.
Could it be
and
an
come
issue
with
that
a
they
report.
don't have the money?
Why would you approach and buy a player if you?
Like-
It's Black Friday. Please go to a store here, take something, and let's see what's going to happen.
Ibile Mobari utlapata after 45 days.
Yeah, even the more you're given Waleba and Fana, you know, but you still can't. If it's credit, then hey, maybe that's a good idea actually. Starting a credit Suisse for soccer players.
Lay-by.
No, not a lay-by. You almost like become a bank, ne, for the soccer fraternity. Like if a team needs a player, you finance the buying of that player, and then the team pays you back with interest.
With interest. Isn't there something
But
like that
financial
somewhere?
fair play or something. They can just take normal bank loans to do that.
Yeah, like
No, but I
But you
become
finance players.
I become the
There was
the
something
bank
similar,
of-
actually.
The
I
bank
think
of
ballers
football.
can tell us about it and look it up. Is that there were places that owned players, so they would buy the contracts of players. Carlos Tevez was under contract with a company rather than a club,
Can I give my-
while playing as like a rental
He's
for
an
the different
employee.
clubs. He was like an employee, but the ownership of his services wasn't with a club. The ownership for Tevez's services was leased to the club by the company that owned his services. That was not a football club.
So he was
Someone
pimped
can look
out.
that up. Yeah,
Interestingly enough,
that's
it's
so
probably
that would be the way to do it. Is that you own the asset and you lease players out to various clubs.
Interestingly enough, Are we still?
But that sounds like
I
agents.
Are we
don't
still?
know.
Are we
Let me
still?
see.
Are we still aviatoring?
Let me see. I think the other story I would like to touch on, but this one is just like a funny haha, take it, don't take it. The whole situation with Maguire, and there's an MP in Ghana. He was making an example about how his government is not doing what it needs to be doing, and he then referred to
Yeah, I remember.
Maguire
It was
not
funny.
performing.
It was funny.
That's a joke.
It was funny.
It was, and I'm glad that Maguire found humor
Yeah.
in it. You know?
And yeah,
Yeah,
his
shame,
response.
man.
Yeah, he's got a big heart. That okay.
and I
Yeah,
respect
sure.
him.
He's he's joining some social media platform that's going against, so they'll all go off of Instagram and stuff because to make a safe social media platform for stars and sports stars and things like that.
Isn't it the
because
other
of
one that-
abuse?
the
It's
other-
a new one, Star something.
Oh, I
Is
don't
it?
know. I thought it was
Yeah.
the other one that's Instagram linked, and I just forgot the name.
Threads.
Threads. I thought it was
Yeah,
that.
but it's not that one. They're starting a new social media thing that's because of the abuse on Instagram, which is bad. Tepi, darling,
Thank you,
thank you
babes.
for jetting us
Darling.
around the world with Tepi and us and Betway get way more. Okay, Euro qualifiers. The reason I want to bring this up is for one reason only. The rest I couldn't care about is my country, Portugal, won all 10 of their qualifying games because they're the best team on the planet, not Argentina.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Good to be you, eh?
Happy.
When Bafana is not doing well, Portugal is doing well.
Portugal's doing fine. Just
Kamoleka.
fine. So the
Listen,
last
that's
team to win all 10 of their qualifying games for a European Championship, actually there were 2 during that period, but Italy won all 10 of their qualifying games before the last Euro tournament.
Okay.
Who won that Euro tournament?
Was it not Portugal?
It was Italy. Portugal won the one before.
Oh,
But what
one
I'm
in
saying
France.
is a good omen to win all 10.
Italy's drew another one. They must defend their title.
So Italy, have they qualified?
Yes, they have qualified.
They qualified.
Yes.
So it's
I know that
they
Norway are
managed
not
to
going to qualify.
So they managed to miss this very complicated next round of the best placed second teams in their individual groups who have now come against each other.
And then the
Fixtures that
Nations
happen on the 21st of March and then the 26th of March next year to qualify for next year's tournament proper, as we call it in Germany.
Yeah, it's.
Hey, how's Germany qualified? Just by being hosts, because that's the only way they could qualify. They've been horrible.
A shame, and the coach situation is not helping either.
Nagelsmann.
Hey man,
Yeah,
as
I
a
know.
country, we should know all about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been there.
So we can't be sitting on a pedestal and
That's
Somehow
where
we can't be too
stones
comfy
here.
either.
that's where we live.
yeah,
So we reside.
Yeah.
Yes.
you know. But actually, on the point that we were talking about and the loaning of players and the bank that I want to start,
Yes.
that's going to finance transfers, ne?
Yes.
I have an issue, and it's actually going to take us to.
A rant.
Well, the rant is going to take us to where we're going to go to from our conversation.
You know how I know it's a rant coming.
His hands.
The end.
Please.
Guys, please
do the
predict
honors
the
print.
rant. Please predict the rant. This is a Len Moleko rant brought to you by Betway. Get way more.
So there was a vote that was done by the Premier League, right? They essentially voted and are allowing the PIF to actually be able to loan players to,
Oh, yes.
to their branch teams, as it were.
Did you see the 8 teams that approved it?
I mean,
Newcastle.
yes, I mean,
Newcastle, Chelsea,
City.
City.
So what's the story? Please give me context.
So the story is there was a law rule that the PIF, the Saudi guys, I guess they've got teams, they own teams in the Premier League. They've also own, I think, 4 or 5 teams.
But you can't pick them out specifically for the rule, right? It
suits
them best at the
Yes,
moment.
it suits
Okay.
them best.
But
right?
it would suit like Manchester United if say Sir Jim Radcliffe were to take a percentage of the club and then Manchester United want to sign or loan a player from Nice,
Yeah.
then
Speaking
they would
of
be
that,
allowed to.
there's something
we'll
I want
get
to-
there.
yes.
We'll get there.
Anyway,
We'll get there.
Okay. Is it them getting kicked out? But anyway.
We get there.
Okay, cool. So I just feel it's now making it a situation of, here's an example. Al Ittihad
Yeah.
goes and buys Jude Bellingham, right?
For whatever money.
For whatever money. Because for them, it's money first.
Yeah.
And then what do?
They loan him for cheaper.
to Newcastle.
To Newcastle.
For free even.
For free.
Oh,
Pay his wages even.
Paying his wages. And they Is that fair? So they're taking the back way.
Because Saudi League, it doesn't have financial fair play.
Yes.
So they can do whatever they want.
If Jude goes to the Premier League or if Jude goes to Newcastle,
Well, let's use the real example, Ruben Neves.
he's coming
refusing.
back.
No, he's refusing.
Yeah.
To go back.
He's refusing. He's refusing to go to Newcastle.
Not Ruben.
It is Ruben Neves.
Ruben Neves.
Yes.
From Wolves,
Yeah.
right? The one they
Yes,
signed
yeah.
from Wolves. Yeah.
From Wolves, he went to the Saudi League, and now Newcastle wants to loan him in Jan. But how is that whole system? How is that fair?
It's not fair at
How
all.
is that fair? Because like
That's sports washing.
over and above sports washing, it's like
It's fraud against financial fair play, first of all. It's sports washing.
Unless they can regulate it.
How?
I don't know. They're going to have to find some
They'll have to
methodology.
investigate,
But if
like
the-
they did with Everton.
Yeah.
But if the Premier League says it's okay for you to take teams from, imagine if we had like a little mini onside, we call it offside, right? And when Marco is not here, we like, no, come, be Marco for the day type of vibes. No, we're not gonna pay you because we're already paying that side.
Nah, that's BS.
De Carlo says, didn't New York City do that with Frank Lampard? Yes, because he was under contract with Manchester City at the
yes.
time he went to New York
It's
Red
been
Bulls, which is
happening a
another
lot,
thing.
yeah.
But I think it's less egregious going from Manchester City to New York on loan than the other way around, where a club spends lots of money on a top player, then brings him to a top league for free, versus a Premier League level player at the end of his career going to Major League Soccer on loan. Not a
Because effectively, Sadio Mane and Cristiano Ronaldo could sign for Newcastle in January.
Basically.
on loan, imagine.
Yeah, which can I bring another layer to this, guys? And it's something that just came to my mind right now when you guys are discussing this, right? With what Len is saying, we've seen how Girona is doing in La Liga, right?
Yes, number one.
They're number one. And the CFG own 45% of Girona, the City Football Group.
Okay.
Now, Girona are in a position where they could make Champions League and they could face Manchester City. I find that very, very, very bizarre. I find it's anti-football.
Well, there's something that we can actually bring up now,
Yes.
Tepi. And first of all, thank you, Len Moleko. That
For your
is my
rant.
favorite rant for the
So
longest
far,
time. It
ne?
was very good, Len. Thank you. Thank you. And I think today Len is on fire. And Lechani, you are absolutely right. Len is on fire today.
Yes, he is.
I agree. So,
so-
Tepi, let's talk about that.
Something else. So English giants Manchester United are reportedly at risk of being barred from the UEFA Champions League because remember that Radcliffe, we spoke about this on the show, that he is going to acquire 25% of Manchester United, right? And now the new owner structure would have implications that would see Red Devils being barred from using. Okay, let me just read this part. Let me just give you an explanation. So Radcliffe also owns a company. He had founded a company, a petrochemical company called Ineos, right? Ineos also happens to own a Ligue A team called Nice.
Ligue 1.
Ligue A.
It's Ligue 1.
Oh, not good Ligue A.
Yeah. Liga R.
The easiest way, ne? Ligue 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it's spelled.
Ne.
Ligue
Serie
1.
A. Ligue
Serie
1.
A, Ligue A,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, so Ligue 1
Anyway,
Club
so-
Nice in France.
There
are
we
you
go,
talking?
in front. So long story short is this. Because he owns or has a percentage share at Lille, he owns a company and that company is also owned, Lille is also owned by this company.
Ineos Group, yeah.
Meaning that chances are Manchester United may not be able to play in the Champions League because the rule says that you cannot have more than one team in the Champions League. If you own two teams, you can't have both of them play in the Champions League at the same time.
I'm
Boom,
waiting,
boom.
Super Sub.
Super
I'm
Sub.
waiting for you to just say it. It's going to be funny. You
Yeah,
got the
no.
opportunity for the joke.
Boardroom will
But
decide.
it says, may I just add this before, ne? Just to give you context. It says here, only the club who finishes the season in a higher position on the league table will then qualify. And if the two teams finish in the same position in their respective leagues, the club whose association is ranked highest in the access list would be admitted. And in this case would be Manchester
Manchester
United
United,
because
yeah.
of the
So
AFC
again,
win.
then it
Historical.
boils down to methodology that I was saying, that then the governors of football need to come with methods to alleviate that problem. However, with that said, it's still anti-football.
That's it.
Because now you
Yeah.
are punishing the players that have worked hard
There we
to
go.
go
Qualify.
participate in Champions League.
Yeah.
It is just bull dust for me.
So
I
it-
agree.
Essentially,
Yes.
it means there's a board meeting will be called somewhere in London or in Manchester, and the fate of either Girona or City will be decided by the board on some. Okay, cool. We know they both finished first in the league.
But
Girona, we understand.
But City
We really
has
do.
won a Champions League.
We really do. Girona, we understand. But from our branding perspective,
justice.
this brand is actually ranked much higher.
Imagine
and it
how
brings in
long
more.
do you see Girona even being number one again in
So must the-
another season?
Can I
They're
ask-
just the
Leicester.
only
Can I
chance.
ask all of you, must the Man United fan really make this joke? Man United don't need someone else to help them not be in European football. They can
no, they
do
do
it
it
themselves.
themselves.
So
Sometimes-
they're not even worried about Nice.
Just when I thought this episode is going to be done without us talking about Man United.
Okay, so yes,
Yeah.
Sir Jim Radcliffe, there could be what they call a conflict of interests
Yeah.
in his European qualification quest with Manchester United and Nice. Hopefully that those rules are thrown away, because what's the deal?
Yeah,
if they
I know.
were to face each other, then you explore it on the day and you ensure that in the same way that sports betting isn't allowed amongst players, in the same way this and that, that you alleviate any chances of match fixing in that fixture if it were to happen. But why not let them compete in the same league just because they're owned by the same owners?
So-
Crazier things have happened, man.
So just a question from Dakalo. He's asking, how is it possible that Leipzig and Salzburg both play in the UEFA
Champions League, because
right
they're
now?
both Red Bull clubs. But
Yes.
who owns the?
Is-
Does
I
the
think
Red
Exactly,
the
Bull
there
one
own
must
it?
is
be
Red
some-
Bull Club, the one is just sponsored, isn't it?
No.
They are both
both.
Red Bull.
So here's the
Are they?
the sponsorship model in Germany is different from a lot of countries. So in Germany, the majority of the club, the shares are owned. It's a 50+1 rule in terms of ownership where German football is concerned.
Does it also not matter because in this case he founded the company, but does it matter if there are other people within the company that might also have ownership, and maybe that's why there's a conflict?
I think it goes to majority shareholding.
But it's the same thing. City does not own majority in Girona. It's only 44 point something
That
percent.
44 could have
More weighting.
66. Ne? Is my math correct?
56.
5.
No.
44 and
44,
56
it's
makes 100,
56,
my friend.
Okay. See, that's why I'm sitting here and not in some lab somewhere.
The math is not matching.
That other portion, the 56, is probably broken in little chunks and
Yeah.
owned by other people. So, Osho,
Yeah, Girona.
yes.
Yeah,
I wanna
Girona.
know.
It's,
Okay, let me
just go there. It's owned by one group.
Okay, so ladies, gentlemen, ballers, big message for me from here in the comments is, given Mo, I've over 30 minutes listening to you guys. I'm not even a football fan. I'm loving this. Welcome, baller. Bo. That's what we love to hear. Thank you so much. Join us every Friday for now. We might move it to Tuesdays. Also, comment below if you think we should move back to Tuesday
Dango.
nights live on Tuesday nights. Let us know.
They always said they want us back
They
at
want
night.
Tuesday. Yeah. Let us know in the comments. Friday or Tuesday.
Hey, Len, you're on fire today. The Mpoza says that we need to let you expand because I interrupted you. Please
No,
expand.
there was a lot of things that I was saying. Where did you interrupt
Who
me?
owns? Okay, so Girona are part owned by City Football Group, like you've mentioned, which is part of an investment global company, and it is also owned. It's Man City owners, the Abu Dhabi. It's also owned by the Abu Dhabi United Group, ADUG. Yes.
That should be the parent company.
So then that means in the ownership structure from what she
Sepu,
said.
where are you reading that? Okay.
So let me read the full statement. Girona are part owned by the City Football Group, which is part of an investment portfolio of global footballing interests for Manchester City's owners, the Abu Dhabi United. Oh, so that is the mother
That's
group.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. That is the holding
So wait.
company.
So Girona is owned, you say,
Yes.
by the mother company
By
that
F-
owns
by
Manchester
CFG,
City.
which owns, who
Okay.
owns Abu Dhabi.
Then what I'm saying is correct.
Yes, I'm saying the other split.
But
So meaning they have 100%.
No.
So the long and
So-
short of it is there's enough of a boss there above you in Girona that if he comes and he says, when you play City on Tuesday, you lose.
You will lose.
The football
That
group
is the
itself,
concern.
It's 16%. And then there's another 35 that is owned by Marcelo Claure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the...
And then 1 or 2% others, and then the rest is the CFG.
So I'm saying the City group and the 16% that the club owns
Yeah.
is most likely...
Oh, Girona Football Group owns 16%.
Yes.
Okay. And then the 1 to 2% is just whatever.
That
Okay.
16% that the Girona Football Group owns could also be owned by the City group. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, in the background.
Yes. So as a result of that, the City group has more of a controlling stake at Girona as opposed to a Red
Okay.
Bull, for instance, which
Okay.
does not have majority shares at Red Bull.
But why can't
So
the
they
same
may have
apply?
a 45 plus
The
a
same
16.
methodology that you are saying, it can be the same with Red Bull.
clubs in Germany are owned by fans? Majority.
Okay. So if you have just joined us on the stream, welcome to the first entrepreneurial math podcast in South Africa. That was some beautiful stuff for you. As we get back into the football, this is Onside ZA brought to you by Betway, where we get way more. The most exciting part about our Friday today, Football Friday, that means that tomorrow club football action is back. Bringing it back to South Africa before we head off to our second home in the Premier League is Cape Town City with an opportunity to go top of the DStv Premiership. Boy, have they been good in recent games.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. I mean, Mamelodi Sundowns haven't played games in like 4 weeks. They're still number one. I'm not bothered.
It's
by
like
PSL.
whatever.
It's whatever
That was
for
the
me,
most
PSL.
enthusiastic.
Why you Kwati? Why you mad though? Why you mad?
Hi, man. And my team has been collecting draws like they're getting out of fashion, man.
They're drawing more than an artist.
They're getting draws
Exactly.
on special for Black Friday.
But
They were
also,
buying-
also it's a case of SuperSport United also had a chance to go top
Yeah.
at some
couldn't.
point, and then they couldn't. Cape
Yeah.
Town City also have a chance to go top.
but Sundowns have a few games in hand, eh?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
always
not
do.
true.
Always do.
Those don't necessarily mean.
Hey, it's the points in the bank versus games in hand. What do you take, Len Moleko?
I take points.
I agree.
Yes. So, and look,
What are you saying, friend?
yeah, ish.
It's PSL. Ritari.
No, look, it's
It's the Sundowns
arrows away.
League.
Arrows away for Coach Tinkler. Might be a bit of a tricky assignment, but at the way Cape Town City have been going, I think they shouldn't have too much of a problem.
Yeah, no,
to go
definitely.
top.
Kaizer Chiefs and Swallows, Yona?
Hey, we know who
That's a
he's
Soweto
supporting.
derby.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Eh? What?
Look at
What?
this
Yeah,
shirt.
no.
Don't follow Len, follow the birds, guys.
We are. Hey, shy about.
Yeah, that's not a
must have- they
that's
must
not
have-
a Morocco Salos t-shirt.
Hey, Oksalayo. They must have lots of security there by
Oksalayo.
Dobsonville on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting. And I just like the banter that's happening on the internet. The chairman, good chairman. I mean, he's been throwing some jabs at Kaizer Chiefs, so, it's
David.
nice. Yeah.
Is he the
David
chairman
Mokha-
or is he the majority
King.
shareholder?
I don't know. What does he do?
Is it the David Group?
He's on the social.
Panyaza
I'll tell
can
you
do
that.
more in the mix of things.
Who?
Panyaza is the others.
Panyaza ki financier.
So a quick look at the standings. Obviously, Mamelodi Sundowns currently top with 24 points, which gives Cape Town City the opportunity to go top with a win at Golden Arrows, which would take them to 25 points. However, at that point, they will have already played 5 matches more than Mamelodi Sundowns with only a single point advantage.
But it would be nice for them
So,
to feel what it's like to be
just-
up there,
Just get your shoulders above for a day.
Pretend,
Yeah.
pretenders to the throne.
Yeah, being the main for once,
And then where the rest of the log starts to look quite interesting is obviously elsewhere around them is SuperSport United on 23 points. Golden Arrows, who they are playing against, could leapfrog them in the next game and go up to 23 points and be ahead of Cape Town City on their 22. And
goal
Swallows
difference is
flying
messed up here,
high
Golden
in
Arrows.
5th position. Len, that is an impressive stat with Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs seemingly quite a bit further down. And Swallows have a couple games in hand on those ahead of them as well.
We spoke about this when we started the season about the arrival of Coach Steve Kompela and his influence on the team, the acquisition of certain players like Bo, Andile Jali coming into the fold, Akpay, goalkeeper, striker from Pirates, what's his name? Mabaso as well. Mabasa, yes. So those have been like the key individuals that have almost kept the Swallow in flight to date.
Okay.
But again, still a long journey to go. 20 games for Swallows to go, and roughly around 18, 19 games to go for the others. So yeah, the marathon is still a long way to go.
Cape Town Spurs still 6 points off of relegation playoff safety, so relative safety away from immediate relegation.
You'd swear they deducted 10 points.
Something quite interesting, guys. If Kaizer Chiefs does not win this match on Sunday, and because remember that they are sitting on 14 points themselves as well as Stellenbosch and Sekhukhune and TS Galaxy on 12. So potentially Kaizer Chiefs can find themselves sitting in 13th, if not 14th position, and just kissing the relegation zone if things don't go well for them and if the other teams come out victorious.
They are building, guys. How many times?
And also, what is scary
You see it?
for Kaizer Chiefs is that they've played like 12 games already.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Like what it's looking bleak for them.
Yeah, so much so that Gift has gone sarcastic in the comments and asked if Kaizer Chiefs also has a chance to go top. Hey, Gift.
Gift.
Hey.
Chiefs is not gift that keeps on giving.
Hey. Okay, let's move on to our second home as we're running out of time. I actually would have liked to spend more time on that. However, we get talking. Tomorrow, early kickoff on a Saturday. First of all, does the Premier League hate Liverpool? Because they don't like an early Saturday kickoff and they get all of them. Is that on purpose? That's scheduling on purpose.
Why should Liverpool cry? Klopp has a tendency of crying about and also he must remember, this is done so that Manchester City has enough time to recuperate and go handle matters on the continent.
Ooh, levels.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, not true.
Levels. Yes.
So anyway, Liverpool have historically done poorly on early starts, especially in the first half of games. They have set that aside ever so slightly in recent weeks with wins against Everton and Wolves. However, unconvincing in the first half, slow starters on the early start of the day. Liverpool sides don't enjoy an early start on a Saturday. That should give Manchester City a bit of an advantage, and the bookmakers at Betway are heavily favouring City at 1.72 to 4.3 for Liverpool. However, Liverpool sort of the standout side for me at the moment in the Premier League. They're currently sitting second. They've been playing really well. So those odds heavily favouring Manchester City are very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So
looking at it,
City and De Bruyne out, obviously. Haaland out also.
Haaland
he's
likely. Haaland's likely to play, I think.
Yeah.
From what I read,
it seemed like a light injury.
Okay.
So if you look at it, you've got a couple of the guys that are going to be playing against each other here,
who I believe would be the starting lineups. Yeah,
they probably came in on the same plane on Thursday. Because they were playing in World Cup qualifiers in CONMEBOL.
South America.
Yes. So it's essentially like one day of rest and then the following day you have to go play. Because
early kickoff on a Saturday.
And it's early kickoff on a Saturday.
You have to wake up and eat a bowl of pasta at 5 a.m. to be ready for a 12:30 kickoff. Wayne Rooney complained about it all the time. So it's a really tough game to play. Liverpool historically slow in the first half. If you're going to go to the Manchester City Stadium, if you're going to go to Etihad, and be lethargic in the first half, you're going to get walloped.
So are you saying that Liverpool eats pasta at 9 o'clock? That's why they...
They're lethargic. They're all lethargic,
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, Haaland is going to be scoring his 50th goal.
Tomorrow.
Aiming to reach, in his 40th game.
He's going to be scoring.
Yeah.
Hey,
You
you've
already
been
know.
speaking to Super Sub.
Yes.
So you guys in a coalition, yeah. Hey, ahead of 2024, you're already forming coalitions.
Fast.
Hey.
But hey man, stranger things have happened. We saw what happened with the Spurs and Wolves. We saw what happened with Chelsea and Man City. So along with the horses, I might just go for that for Liverpool.
4.3.
Yeah.
Just it's really good odds and
Yes,
Liverpool
good
are good
odds.
side. And I think
So
for
you're going
me,
for Liverpool then?
Huh?
You're going for Liverpool?
Yeah, I think I'm going for Liverpool.
me-
Hey, I want to fit in my pocket, Mona.
Yeah.
it's a good point. For me, the two battles that I see being of absolute importance, and the reason why I've gone for a back four for Pep Guardiola, where I think he'll set that up, is that he struggled at the left back position. Now, I think that there's one team you don't want to struggle at left back with, and it's Liverpool because of this man over here, Salah, looking at my board here. And I think that Jack Grealish will replace Doku because of his ability to get back and defend and help out with Alexander-Arnold, who you can't give time on the ball, knowing how he passes the ball around. So I think Doku will be sacrificed with all of his enterprising, attacking, beautiful, skillful football. I think he'll be sacrificed for this fixture in order to deal with this right-hand side over here of Liverpool. Of course, there's too much quality in the Manchester City side to talk about what they need to deal with there. They have to deal with everyone. Alvarez, Foden, Haaland, Bernardo Silva. But this battle over here is also going to be key, is how Rodri handles Szoboszlai, who I think has been a revelation at Liverpool this season.
Also,
Still can't pronounce his name.
Szoboszlai.
if you look at the game against Chelsea, I think Silva, Rodri, and Alvarez actually had not such an easy time against the Chelsea midfield. And one would have thought that the minute Rodri comes back, then stability is almost restored in that City midfield. Or maybe it's still a case of him trying to gel with the team
again,
because
yeah.
he's been absent for so long. I hear what you're saying about the Salah and Alexander-Arnold, but my fear is the midfield that Manchester City is going to put out. And also Liverpool with their midfield, yes, it had issues last season. And I think in the subsequent, like last season, this particular game.
This is a whole new midfield looking at this.
From what they had.
McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Ryan Gravenberch, who's been in good form in recent games. That midfield three is completely new this season.
And last season, this particular game was the game that almost like took the sail out of Liverpool's what.
That
So are
train,
you
yeah.
saying, Len Moleko, that you either sacrifice perhaps Alvarez and let John Stones sit deep with Rodri and let Bruno Fernandes play along in that 10?
Bruno
role?
Fernandes.
I mean, Bernardo Silva.
You wish.
We know where your head is at.
My head is in Portugal where they're winning games like crazy.
Wow.
No.
Yeah, I think he might. Sacrifice
Alvarez, maybe?
Alvarez
Or
and
Foden.
then have Bernardo on the right, and then have Foden as a false 10 there, and traditionally it's a false 9, right?
It's a
Len?
9, yeah.
And then
Well, we've got a 9.
yeah, and then Kovacic comes in there in the middle.
I'm saying what I'm saying.
Instead of Stones. So Kovacic and Rodri.
Yeah, look, Guardiola is gonna make no mistake. Ake is not gonna start that game. Guardiola is gonna own that right-hand position there.
Do you think that Vardiel will be play at left back?
Yeah,
And
then
do you
Akanji
think
in.
that Akanji will be in there?
Yes, that's how I think they're gonna line up.
But will Akanji be able to deal with Alex and Salah coming at him, given that
Guardiola's got pace.
I hear what you're talking about, Vardiol, but Akanji's, yeah.
Can't you deal with Salah?
Yeah, look, I mean, on a good day, anyone can cause a problem for anyone. You know, it's a matter of who wants it more on the day. But I think with the fact that City is playing at home, I don't think Pep will go into that game worried about about sitting back, how they're going to defend. And again, the best form of defense is attack. So
So you're thinking this is going to be a better option?
Yeah, boy.
Akanji, Diaz, and Vardiel in the central 3.
Yes.
Then Walker giving free roam
Yeah.
down the right, and Grealish with Bernardo Silva and Foden supporting Haaland in attack, and then Kovacic and Rodri to handle the midfield. Obviously, gives
Bernardo
Bernardo Silva
a little
freedom
bit
to
of a
come
leeway
in
when
here
Walker
and
tracks
pick up
forward.
the ball
Yeah.
and make plays over there. So once again, your Betway odds on that
Interesting.
fixture 1.72 to 4.3. Liverpool, really nice fat odds on that one there. Not odds I would take with how slowly they start, and you're going to get punished at Manchester City if you start slowly on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, just by the way,
After
last three
eating-
matches, we had Manchester City, Liverpool, 4-1 win for Manchester City. And in 2022, we had a 3-2 win for Manchester City, and Liverpool won. In 2022, it was a 1-0 win for them. So 2 wins and 1 loss.
Yeah,
for City.
so much of a muchness. City tend to do quite well against Liverpool at home. They struggle against Liverpool at Anfield, which was something we mentioned last week, where Anfield's the most difficult place to go play at the moment. They've got the best home record. It's very difficult to go get results there at Anfield. So Manchester City can certainly at least take some consolation that they're playing their game at home and Liverpool not exceptionally good on the road. But interesting fixture for the weekend. Another interesting fixture for the weekend, Len Moleko. A battered and bruised Tottenham Hotspur side against Aston Villa. However, they are at home, and Aston Villa, another one of those sides who seems to be very good at home and not as good out on the road.
No, apparently Villa this season have been relatively decent on the road. They've won 5 out of the 6 that they've played away from home.
That is a good stat that I might have fluffed.
So and if you look at Tottenham Hotspur, I think they've been playing well, granted, but this demise of them now seems to be Tottenham being.
Hey, Len, I'm challenging you.
There's a demise already.
I wasn't wrong. They beat Fulham at home. They lost away at Forest, beat Luton at home, beat West Ham at home, drew away at Wolves, beat Brighton at home, lost away at Chelsea, beat Palace at home, lost away at Liverpool, won away at Burnley, and lost away at Newcastle. They've only won one away game, and that was at Burnley. The rest they've either drawn and lost. So they poor on the road, very good at home.
So the stat that I read, I think it was yesterday or Wednesday. Sorry, I did not say it properly. It's they are unbeaten. Not they've won 5 in all competitions. So this would include them
European
playing, yes.
and okay.
Yes. So that's the stat I read. Sorry, I didn't also say it properly to
Okay.
you as well. Yes. Anyway, going to Spurs. Spurs, the typical Spurs is coming to fruition. We know them. They started looking like they are the business, but now it looks like the wheels are falling off.
They're like Arsenal.
Leave
You're
other people
like-
alone.
But something quite
people alone.
interesting also. Remember that the last encounter that they had, Usan scored 6 goals against some Villa. So I'm sure he's going to want to, up that or maintain that.
Well,
status.
as long as we're all arguing about how close this game is going to be,
Yeah.
so are the bet makers over at Betway,
Of course.
where Spurs are slight favourites at 2.33 to 2.8,
2.80,
but Villa are on the rise, and Spurs do have their injury concerns. So 2.8, that's some good returns there, especially on a multi-bet. If you go for Liverpool and Villa for away wins, and that happens this weekend, that's a nice big fat boost on a multi-bet.
Yeah, you're looking pretty there.
Injury concerns?
Injury concerns, of
Yeah.
course, are a concern
Madison
for
is
Spurs at the moment.
Yeah.
Madison
Madison
out.
is out. I think Sessegnon is out.
Who's
Richarlison
that?
is out.
Yeah, that Dutch centre back of theirs
Van what one?
Van der
Yeah,
Ven.
Yes.
Van der Ven.
Yes.
he's a top
out.
player. He's out, and real struggles for Spurs.
Romero
red card.
is also.
Yes,
No, it's a red card.
The red card
Yes,
is a
Romero's,
suspension.
but he's out.
Yeah, Romero is
Yeah.
out. He's got a
So,
he's got
sure.
a red card.
And there's some. Hey, you never know what's coming back off a plane from international duty either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
and speaking, we have many international football break injuries, eh?
Always surprised. We've been
Yeah.
saying this on the show since we had Fabrice Muamba on as a guest about how tough the football calendar is for players, and they're going to get injured.
Yeah.
So you play on Tuesday, or was it Wednesday? Well, Wednesday morning, Tuesday. Yeah, depending on where you live in the world. Against Brazil, you play against Liverpool on Saturday, and you play against RB Leipzig or Salzburg on Tuesday. Do you understand? That's like in a space of a week, you've played 3 games.
Strenuous.
that have like 12
Yeah.
minutes of edit time to it.
No, unreal.
By
More-
the way,
yeah,
very, very
please go on,
quickly,
Tippy.
something about FIFA when it comes to injuries. It says here, FIFA bears some responsibility when a player is injured during an international match. Specifically, they pay them 20,580 euros per day for the club. So it can be about 4 million, depending on how long a player is out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Up to 20,000, I assume. Not
It's
they pay.
specifically 20,580 euros per day for the club.
Hey, imagine that might be worth more than what you're paying a player.
Basically, you can
Eh?
actually rank
Yeah,
up some
please go
money.
get injured. We need the
Nazo,
cash.
Exactly. When I saw that, I was
But
like,
how much do
dang.
you think the surgery is to get you back playing?
It doesn't matter. You're on small wages. You're not Haaland.
Out for like 6
Yeah,
months,
you know what
you
I'm
could be
saying.
getting like 4 million. Yeah.
Well, guys, as much as we've had a great show and people are thanking us for the show in the comments here today, the gift that keeps giving is the comment section here. And I want to read out a few of these. De Carlo, who's obviously a Chelsea fan, says he doesn't have faith in Chelsea this weekend. Len, please predict a Newcastle win.
Because it's
That's one.
that is so funny.
Of course, that one is odds extremely close between those teams. Chelsea at home to Newcastle, two good sides to play each other this weekend. Back to the comments again with the humor here is the Kato. Let me find that comment over here. Tottenham likes playing a line higher than my hairline.
Yep. Oh no, in fact, I think them and Aston Villa are very big fans of playing highline.
So maybe we have some counter-attacking goals in for us this weekend.
And on the point of Chelsea Newcastle, look, Chelsea looks like they're getting
They groove, man.
their house in
Slowly,
order
I'm happy for them.
slowly.
It's about time.
Newcastle, however, on the other hand, have got an injury list
Longer than Jordan.
Longer than what?
long. No,
Yeah.
I wanted to say something. This is a family show, guys. It's a
Yeah,
family
for
show.
sure. Keep it clean.
Oh, snap. No. Gross. Anyway, continue.
What did you think I was
Nice,
gonna
sis,
say?
man.
Yo. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no intentions of going in hard. So, yeah. Injury list. Yes, at Newcastle, it's long. Yeah.
Okay, so
One other thing that maybe we should touch on, and it was like a point of contention during the week. It's controversial, but I don't think we should leave it out. Lodge being suspended, guys,
Oh, yes. Until the 14th?
until the 12th of
The
December,
12th.
after he was found guilty
yeah,
of assault.
Look, I think the club has processes in house to deal with that. The court has said what they said.
yeah.
I just think in terms of at this point, it should maybe be a case of a rehabilitation. And I'll tell you why I say that.
Yeah.
Today, as it was announced that former Olympian Oscar Pistorius is also going to be out on parole, does it mean that he's going to get shunned by society? Does it mean that when he comes out and he decides to start a running academy, nobody should go there
Or a
because of what
podcast.
he did?
Yeah, look, I think he needs to be rehabilitated, like you said, because now I think it's the debate that is on now. I think it's a moral issue versus justice, because a lot of people feel like the judgment was a slap in the wrist, no pun intended, and for me, I'm saying, do you now penalize the guy twice? Because now, in as much as we are anti what he has done, it looks like he might find himself out of Orlando Pirates.
Yeah, but we can't. Yeah, and I mean, I think as a society, we are, adamant in just completely destroying a person, and we can't do that.
Because the justice systems, justice is that he's gonna pay 100,000.
That he wanted the culling.
It's happy. And then it's 5 years
What are you
suspended, eh?
drinking?
It's 5 years suspended,
5
eh?
years no. The suspension is the jail time.
Oh,
The jail
yes.
time is the 5 years
Guys-
suspension.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of people in trouble, Gabuza.
Oh, yes. It's
that
also.
that one I'm not sure about.
guys,
Yeah, apparently
we were supposed to wrap up this show 20 minutes. Can I go?
Oh,
Or
shame, sir.
Okay, sorry. But
Because
But just in closing with the lodge situation, right? Look, I hear what you're saying with regards to okay, cool, what needs to happen? But also remember, I understand why people are judging the situation from a moral perspective, because there isn't a lot of faith in our justice system.
For sure.
There's are things that get swept under the carpet. It could be a case of we don't know who paid who for him to get, like you said, no pun intended, a slap on the wrist type of thing.
Yeah.
So that is why there's an uproar. And given that this happened so close to 16 days of
And
activism
GBV
against...
is not a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a joke.
It's not a joke,
We
you know,
condemn
and people
it
want
in all
harsher,
forms. Yeah.
you know, repercussions.
Maybe he
for-
deserves harsher repercussions.
Why
I don't
not?
know.
You can't be
Honestly-
out here just and then, you
Yeah,
know.
it's a very tight situation.
Yeah,
that
so
put
it's a
myself-
moral, it's a justice, it's a woman issue,
We
it's
want
a-
it out of
it's a- you know
society.
what
I think that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That we just want the best way to go about that. Is it through rehabilitation or is it through harsher
you know,
punishment?
or is he
And-
going to be a sacrificial lamb to say, if
Yeah.
you start touching this woman or any other
Because
woman
people
for that
feel like
matter,
he should have
that's
been a
what's going to
sacrificial
happen.
lamb, and then the justice system should have set example with him and send him to jail.
But like I said, it's because people don't trust the justice system. But anyway, there's lots of Black Friday specials. Marco, can we get out of here?
The biggest of the Black Friday specials is with Betway, where the Champions League is returning, and you can get a group stage promotion on the Betway app for your chance to win a share of 650,000 rand with the return
Can't
of
wait.
Champions League
How much?
football. 650,000 rand. Your share of that big prize as part of the Betway Group Stage Champions League promotion as the group stages of the Champions League start to draw to a close.
lot of money.
And of course, a reminder for all of you to join us at the Betway Summer Cup at Turfentine tomorrow. If you can't make it,
And get me a
just
dress, y'all.
get your bets in. Join us. We'll be on social media channels and stuff talking about where our money is going on the horses. Place your bets, big promotions on the Betway app as well.
And
I
Super
want-
Sub.
And I want you guys to say this with me. Who keeps on giving?
Betway!
And Super Sub, before we get out of here, there is no Legs of Thunder tomorrow, please.
Falani show, man.
So remember to stay onside. Don't be offside. Be onside with us and Betway, where you get way more. Thank you and goodbye.
Danko means thank you.
Danko means thank you.
Peace.
To the streets.
In the Middle East.
Stream ends.